quick sprints, take the disc briskly, sunshine glints off my frisbee crisply, knows how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got both of the pivots and all of the throws. Got to hold the disc and move it at the right time. When you flick your wrist and you're feeling sublime, compose your throws, not discuss fluttery, tricks from the brick and your biscuits buttery. Feel the spirit, stretch every sinew, stream, encourage, yeah, we continue. Take my hand, yeah, come with me, from the disc to the sand, to the beach, to the sea. There's magic in the air. All you have to do is catch it. EBUCC 2022.
Well, good morning. Welcome, everybody, to the beach here. The party in Portimão is underway. And myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Benji Rees, joining you here on an absolutely gorgeous morning to bring you my first live game. And it is Salaspils versus Solebang. Now, we've just got up here, got ourselves together. The sunshine is bright and the umbrella is going up because it's we need some shelter. Benji, welcome. How are you?
Warm. I am very warm. I must admit, I was a little bit skeptical of what the weather would be like this week because, you know, it's the middle of October. How hot can it? No, it's hot. It's exactly the sort of weather you would hope for a beach tournament in Portugal.
Yes, it's there we go. We've got an umbrella now. That is good. We're working these things out a bit at a time. And as soon as we've got everything covered, we'll let you know. Now, this is an exciting team. Salaspils in white, Solebang in black. And Salaspils with some very handy pickups. Do look out for them. A young man by the name of Ben Ort, I believe.
I think he would qualify as a young man.
Yes, and slightly not quite so young man anymore. Mr. Justin Ford picking up with Salaspils this weekend and taking what was already a really impressive looking side into one that has got the chance to threaten the top end of this tournament here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships, EBUCC. First morning. This is the opening game for these two teams. Solebang keeping the disc on their opening possession. And there's Orts coming to take the mark now. Solebang move it around the back. Options deep, but they're all being marked very tight in the deep space now as something opens up, a little switch. Salaspils taking away the options. Deep shot going up. Maldaris after this, but it's going to be chasing out of bounds. He catches, he touches, and Salaspils with the first turnover of the game, getting possession from Solebang. What do you reckon to these we're going to see from these two teams? Do you know much about Solebang? Yeah, there's
a kind of a mix of youth and experience for the Swiss. So the player you saw there going deeply on Vitaliano is a real live wire, and yeah, likes getting the disc out of his hands quickly, changing the angles of his throws. He's one to look out for on offense as we get Salaspils trying to break the first point of the game.
And they do so. The floaty disc from Benort finding Didzis Maldaris, sprinting free down the field and catching the end zone. I bumped into Didzis Maldaris in the airport yesterday, Benji.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he be flying out of Bristol?
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing. And he waved at me and I waved at him, and then I went, hang on a minute, you shouldn't be here, but he was.
Of course, your commentary partner at Tom's Tourney earlier in the year, so one of proud to call him ulti.TV's own, Didzis Maldaris.
Yes, he was still one of my favourite turns of phrase for the year. $1 million move, $5 finish.
Oh, that's good, that, actually. I'm going to nick that. Thanks, Didzis. He started playing because his teammate, Arvid Zolowskis, asked him to film some trick shot videos with him and just got hooked on it. Listed his sporting heroes as Kobe Bryant. You know, you've got a little bit of swag, a little bit of flair, I see it. And also Justin Ford. So, you know,
yes, yeah,
not a bad teammate to pick up for you this weekend.
My getting to know Didzis a little bit over that weekend where we were commentating on Tom's Tourney. He's got this lovely mix of kind of just massive enthusiasm for the game and the sport and the people around it, and then this kind of swagger, which is just, you know, fun to be around, and you know, He's grown and developed, and he had such confidence going into that commentary weekend. It was really great fun. So Solebang now able to walk up to the brick mark. The pink disc of the championship in hand. A little flick to the break side. The Salaspils player completely blindsided by that move. Swiss moving it around the back again. A little bit too close, a little bit too high, but a big hand goes up and brings the disc down. No shot available down the line. Finds a gap through the middle. There was a shot on into the end zone, but didn't take it into that front corner. Holsters for now. Goes back around, spreading the play. Jolting free, you just can't jink free quite that quickly on the sand. Now they find a space, now they score. Solebang on the scoreboard. And we are on 1 apiece.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I find really useful on beach is you've got to have a variety of break throws. As a force, it's kind of a little bit harder to shuttle back and forth as you would like to do on grass to really be an active mark. And you feel that it's a little bit more about kind of getting those arms out, maybe going for foot blocks than it is those important side steps. So if you can get those different angles of attacks and find ways to beat the mark, it's a very valuable tool. And that time, the low release outside, getting a few inside shots through, it's a valuable skill.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We are just... I might hotspot it up. If I can find my hotspot.
I tell you what, it's a proper hotspot out here at the moment, isn't it? Because the sun is beating down.
Well, October, we've had tournaments out here in May in the past, and they've been really cold. This one's chasing it down. Oh, the legs, the power, the stature of Arvid Zalowskis eating up the sand like a tasty dish of paella.
It's a brilliant put there from Geerts Betmanis, who, absolutely rips this. And when you've got a player like Orlovskis going deep, I mean, why wouldn't you feel like, yeah, we'll just put this up now, easy, no problem with that. Just gets it out there nice and early, and see here, maybe a little bit of showboating on the catch, the full fat milk with cream on top as well from Arvid Orlovskis. And yeah, this Salaspils side are so fun to watch when they're on song.
And they were on song all summer, of course, playing out in Cincinnati and getting a 4th place finish. Really remarkable result from a team which I think blindsided a lot of the North American sides. A lot of their international opponents just never heard of Salaspils. They picked up a few North Americans and strengthened their roster. Yeah,
playing with Mooncatchers out there.
Mooncatchers, of course.
Yeah, so those connections formed when the Latvians played with Belgium at World Juniors probably 4 years ago now out in Canada. And Ben Ort was also on that Belgian side, which is part of the reason why they've got that link up going again here.
Float back into space. Solebang, just the one break down and a contact made, and no contest from Maldoris.
Yeah, no game advisors or observers here. Everything entirely self-refereed.
The Hinden gets it back. Klingler. And that one disappears into the sand. Was that pressure from the defense, or just a
little bit of both?
Execution error?
You can see that the space is there for that inside shot, but because the force is making itself big, it's difficult to get the right angle on that one, and so it just makes it too bladey, and it goes straight into the sand.
Coming back up the other way now. Big flick. Again, Mulder is the target. Casual one-handed grab. And he likes that, although he has worked really hard. There we go, there's a celebration from Maldoris. Loves a bit of the action, a bit of the swagger. And that is a 3-1 lead. And you do feel like Salaspils have got potential to really run away with this one, Benji.
Yeah, both of those break scores for Salaspils have been caught by Maldoris. The first one, Ben Ort was the thrower. And then this time again, looking deep, Malderis streaking down the near sideline, and there's a timeout called on the pitch, which probably a bit needed here for Solebang, you have to say.
Yes, just a chance to take stock of what's going on, and while they're doing that, we'll just take stock of everything that's going on here in Portimão. We're on the Algarve coast in Portugal, if you're not familiar with the geography of this part of the world. This is the Atlantic Ocean that we're out on, and Benji, honestly, I've rarely seen a more beautiful sight in my life. The pitches have been levelled by tractors and all sorts of things over the last fortnight. Patrick and Bula and Pedro and Sophia have been out here putting out the pitches, the stands, the tents over the last week. The players have been arriving over the last couple of days, and we've just got the most delightful scene. And the weather looks like it's going to be set fair, light winds, clear blue skies.
Love to see it.
There isn't a cloud in the sky out here.
No, you saw a nice little photo, a nice little shot of us on top of the commentary perch as well. Yeah. Our shipping container providing a nice viewing platform for the showcase field here. Yes, I'm not sure if the health and safety people everywhere would be entirely delighted with this, but you know, it's fine. It's fine.
We've had worse places to commentate from, and it is
we have.
It's a gorgeous view. And really, there's nothing to moan about at all today. It's good. Everything is good.
Did you bring your swimming trunks?
I didn't. No, Benji, I feel like I've dropped a ball there.
It's all right. There are plenty of beachfront hostelries that I'm sure you could find a pair.
Yeah, or I could just go au natural. But you know,
very European.
I don't think our viewers need to know too much more about our swimming plans for later on in the week, as Solebang, after that timeout, start under a bit of pressure here. And again, they've gone with the deep shot. It's going to come down in hand, surely. Wow, the speed across the sand, chasing it down. Mark Hauscher really got some separation in the end zone, collected it in stride in the end. Fantastic. Can understand why he's a deep threat.
Justin Ford was left eating dust, to be honest, there. Just speed across the ground. I'm not sure that he was expecting it. And Hauscher absolutely roasts him into that deep space.
Well, Solebang showing that they're not to be counted out in this game.
Evidently that timeout paying dividends, because they were ready off the pool. They clearly had a plan in mind. We want to get Hauscher utilising that deep speed, see if we can isolate a one-on-one matchup, and then the throw is out nice and early into space. And Solebang capitalise.
Centering it now. Salaspils finding the tall figure in the 50 shirt, making their way through this Solebang defense. Very compressed field at the moment. All the players very close to each other. Moving it back around to the far side. There's a flick through the middle. There was potential for a block, but didn't react quick enough. Solebang, 3 players back into position, defending the end zone. Garvey trying to find a way through. There's space on the far side, just drops the shoulder. And Garvey flicks the wrist, sends it flat across the end zone for an easy pass, easy score. And Salaspils dominating here. 4-2, they're up.
Yeah, Bernans is maybe not the biggest name compared to, say, the pickups, Orton Ford or Malderis or Orlovskis, but he is kind of Mr. Latvian Ultimate. You know, he's represented them for many years. He coached the Latvian women's team that got bronze here at EBUCC 3.5 years ago.
Yep.
He's played for the men's side at EUC that summer. He was a player, captain, coach of the under-24 mixed side that got 4th place out in Heidelberg in 2019. He's a spirit captain of the Salaspils mixed side that won EUCF, made Ulti-Worlds All-European side 1 year, and has also, as well as many other things, been the president of the Latvian Ultimate Federation for 6 years.
Wow,
so
Benji.
I've no idea how he fits it all in.
Benji, I'm just fascinated. Where do you get all this incredible information from? This is...
I have my sources. He also works at a board game company, as if, again, he wasn't doing enough elsewhere.
Yeah, good stuff. Solebang on the disc now, keeping it moving. quick one. Picked off in flight. The 28 shirt of Ford says no. The options are there. Ford's continued the cut. Double happiness. Oh, there he is. Justin Ford sprinting across the sand after getting that block. And Salaspils punishing Solebang's casual pass through the middle of that cut.
The block comes because Vitaliano has seen the matchup he likes deep, and he's kind of isolated that, but he's not seeing the field as a whole. And I think Justin Ford can see that he wants the deep shot, so he just sits in that lane a little bit longer there, and it's thrown with real force. But Ford was ready and waiting for it, and then off the turn, capitalising maybe on some heads not quite getting set quickly enough, pinballing it around the back a little bit, and it just seems like such a natural fit for Salaspils, because we know the arsenal of throws that he's got at his disposal. We know the athletes they have on the receiving end, be them homegrown in Latvia or in the UK as well, as Justin Ford is.
Yes. Well, I think there's a good chance Salaspils could have an extremely good run this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the tournament here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships. God, that's a mouthful. We'll have to get used to that, Benji. Solebang now, bringing it across to Regez. Spread the play now, Hinkle. And resets back to Regez again. Contact, and was that a block?
I don't know if it's a block or whether it just came out of his hands slightly strangely.
Elgnitis was the marking player. Maldaris exchanging discs, looking for that deep shot. Sends it across. Eweltinch rises. Two hands, eyes locked on. The pink plastic floats out of the sky, and it's another Salaspils score. Now they're really getting going.
Yeah, utilising those over-the-top throws that we haven't necessarily seen too much of in the first couple of games here on the streaming pitch, but the wind has died down a little bit. So it gives the opportunity to maybe be a bit more creative in your choice of option. Maldaris was really looking to be aggressive because he had the dump to Podgorskis, but that was a much less fun option than this hammer over the top to his Salaspils and Mooncatcher's teammate, Tom's Abeltinch. I think Abeltinch, by the way, maybe along with Maldaris, was part of the Real 5 side that won gold in the Open Division at EBUCC 4 years ago in Castelldefels, just outside Barcelona.
You are an encyclopedia of ultimate knowledge, Benji.
I'll be honest, I have pretty much, ever since we had that last EBUCC, I've been dreaming of basically any tournament as good, because finals day was bonkers.
It was absolutely bonkers.
With the exception of the women's bronze medal match that was not the closest game. We had 5 universe point games in a row. I mean, like, how do you ever get anything as good as that?
Well, you could have added some sunshine, because if I remember it was a bit chilly, but
it wasn't the best of weather, no.
That's a turnover first pass from Solebang. The pressure from Salaspils paying every opportunity now. House here is on the mark. Ort on the disc, sprinting down the line. Orups, Ford, casual. Gets up, brings the disc down with a little snatch. Ort, back to Ford. Oh, just a handling error. Arvid's Onderups flutters, perhaps thinking about the next pass a little too early. What looked like some nice possession from Ort and Ford is neglected. Solebang with another chance here. Flick over the top, no wind to worry the catch. Gets it back to Vitaliano, and back across now to Fischer. Fischer spreads it. Solebang playing within themselves here. Perhaps Salaspils' defense has just dropped its intensity a tiny bit after they've established this 4-point margin. Flick back. Looks to the scuba, but it's been misread. It's been overthrown. And in the sand, you just can't get up to speed. You can't turn on the jet boosters from a standing start when you've got the body weight in the wrong place. And that sort of throw might have worked out indoors, doesn't work on the sand.
Yeah, you can see what the option is there to Vitaliano, and there is space on that break side, but the throw comes out and it's way too flat down the middle of the field. And it means that Vitaliano, again, we saw how difficult it is to change direction, and especially for a player like Vitaliano, often we see him utilize those jump cuts to get those changes of direction. They're not quite as effective on the sand, and yeah, always too much for Vitaliano to do, I think.
Garvey back to Ford. Ford gets it to Onderups, back to Ford again. And a second mistake, and it's come from the same player, Onderups, with another drop.
Live stream jitters?
It could be. It seems fairly academic compared with the scoreline, but nobody wants to have a drop in a game. Some players don't want to have a drop in the entire tournament. To have two in a point is poor, and it's been punished by Solebang, getting the disc back. And I do believe that is the first time in that point, it's the first time that Salaspils have turned over all game, and they've turned over twice, and it's both come from the same player. But it's the point come from House here.
Scored all three of Solebang's goals now. See Fisher, he's trying to fake that one to Vitaliano, or is waiting. He's almost baiting that one, so put it over the top, try and force it in, but he's dragged deep enough that it opens up the space for the cut to the front of the end zone to have a little bit of room to work with. It's not quite so congested there. And I tell you what, they needed that, because you feel like another break for Salaspils.
Yeah.
They'd be 7-2 up going into half and receiving coming out of half. That would have been game over. But here at, at 6-3, they're hanging around. It's not over yet.
And just remind everyone at home what the time situation is on the end of the game, Benji.
Yeah, so game is really thick and fast on the beach. Games to 13, half at 7. Time cap goes, I think it's 40 minutes, at which point finish the point, add one to the highest score, and that's your new cap. So these games, they go, you get through them quick.
Salaspils sending it deep, reading it well, taking it down. Beautiful deep shot, and collected, no problem at all. A little bit of body language change from Solebang. Maybe this is beyond them. And they're having to work so hard for every point, and Salaspils, it seems just, they've got the deep shots, they've got the speed, they've got
really
everything.
Pick your poison with Salaspils, because any player can throw it, especially on the beach. Any player is capable of going deep. This time they clear that deep space for Renans to go. He's really casual, but not, arrogant with the catch. I think he's just confident that he's got it covered.
Yes.
And kind of nothing they could do to stop it. And I think this should be half-time, so there is no kind of proper half-time break necessarily, but you do go through the cursory change of ends and if necessary, and who's off, who's receiving coming out of half, just to make sure that if you've got a really upwind downwind game, for example, it wouldn't necessarily just be decided by the flip. So yeah, the 7-3 means that we are going to get the change of ends at half time, and as we mentioned, Salaspils receiving to begin the second period of this game.
Yeah, House here, the 96 shirt for Solebang, with those 3 points in the game so far. He's only been playing 4 years, but he is a tall chap.
Yeah, nearly 2 meters tall, 195 centimeters. Not sure what that is in old money, but then we're the only people who use it, really, so I'm not sure it matters.
And he's only ever played for Solebang. This is his one and only team, but devastating young Swiss player. And that disc has landed out of bounds, didn't roll out, landed out. So it's going to be bricked, and it's quite a generous brick. Beach fields, smaller than grass fields. So he's walking it to the middle, and then he'll walk it up. And there is a mark on the tape at the side, but sometimes it's hard to see it from the middle of the field. So what's happening here is Solebang are just identifying the point for him. And it's underway now. Olofskis wasn't spaced to tend that swing across to Ford. Gets it back into Bertmanis. Garvey cuts across the middle, gets looked off. Ford trying to jink free in the middle. And there is Ford. There was 3 options there for Salaspils. Ford floats it forward down the line. Oloskis walks it forward, getting free and looking quite tired on the chase there. Erik Hoitonen just not able to keep up with Oloskis. No one wants Oloskis as your mark for the day, but Hoitonen looking really off the pace on that pass from Ford.
It's just easy juice. As you mentioned, there were 3 players who kind of all came to that same space, and especially because, you know, with Ford, you player who's not usually part of the roster, so you wonder if there's some communication, going to be any communication issues, but no, they got it sorted out nice and early. And again, on beach, throwing with touch is so important because you can sit throws out into space, give your receivers a chance to chase them down rather than trying to really arrow them because it's so difficult to close that gap quickly. And Ford just floats and feathers that one into the end zone. And a little bit of style and swag on the grab there from Orlovskis as well.
You can see from our pictures here, the flags fluttering here in the Algarve breeze, the Atlantic over to our right, behind Solebang, and the sea frontage of the Praia del Rocha Portimão resort town, which is playing host to all of these players in the tournament hotels. But it really is a beautiful scene here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Solebang from Switzerland, making their way up the field. And being involved, Vitaliano's been involved heavily. House here running again, bids. Again, he was the target. It does seem like he's the only player that's got the ability to either get free or pose a threat to Salaspils.
I must admit, when the throw went up, I thought it was money. But it just kind of kept going a little bit. It didn't quite hold up enough.
Yes.
And yeah, House here, again, even we've seen how much ground he can cover and how quickly, but it's always is still a tough ask on beach.
Ort, the sharp throw to Maldoris, gets it to Abeltinch. Abeltinch flicks forward. Salute continues the cut. Ort collects. Maldoris again. To Ort. Ort floats it forward. Oh, good position from Vitaliano. Reaches up and frustration from him. But the throw was perfectly poised over the head of the defender and into the arms of Maldoris for another point and a 9-3 lead. Game to 13, as Benji was saying. So just the 4 more points to rattle off here, and Salaspils can get themselves an early break into the beach bar.
When it's flat, when it's kind of still like this, Salaspils, they can almost play it indoors style. Yes, you can't quite cover the ground as quickly, but that one, a sneaky blade past Vitaliano. I actually think it's Jurgensen's in the end zone with the score in the end. Getting a lovely shot of the Atlantic Ocean here on the Algarve, in the edge of the Iberian Peninsula. I mean, what a spectacular setting it is, Tom.
Yes, it is amazing. We're very fortunate, you and I, Benji. And we're also fortunate that we've got so many people watching online at home. YouTube fans, how many? We've got nearly 200 people watching online. So if you are there, just do us a favour, click that thumbs up button. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. So just do it, because it helps the algorithm know that this is amazing content that everyone else should watch as well. So do that, and then enjoy the rest of the game. Solebang fighting hard against Salaspils, and a big bid comes flying out. Benjamin Willie not able to reach the disc. Maldoris with another chance for Salaspils now. Dominant performance from the team in white. A lot of the traditional Salaspils stars with a couple of pickups, Ford and Ort, added to the lineup, and that disc has gone wayward, and Solebang now with a chance. Putting forward. Let's see. House here is not on the field for this one, so the option's gone to 86, and it needed to be a little bit flatter if that was going to connect with Marcel Moura.
I think he just it's a difficult read that because it's coming really vertical, and he just gets suckered into getting a little bit far underneath it, and actually he should have kind of trusted the read going towards that far side of the end zone. By the way, that's Salaspils' 3rd turnover of the game, and I think they've kind of all been unforced errors rather than they have blocks.
they're not getting the disc back from Salaspils. Salaspils have only had 3 turnovers in the whole game. Gets the disc across to Ford in the centre of the field. Ford still with it. Garvey cutting down the sideline. He's gone back across now, but not going to get the disc. It does get the disc now, and it's not Garvey, it's Podgurskis. Signalling with the hands to bring Ford into play. Maldaris on the edge of the end zone. Oh, a cheeky little feathery flick to the far corner, but it is just out of bounds and just beyond the reach of Elknitis.
Yeah, that's a confidence throw, that one from Maldaris, just getting a little feathery high release flick, floating it over towards that far sideline. But I think Elknitis just maybe didn't quite see that in the right position, because it could tell he was having a little bit of trouble tracking it and laying out just too far out in front. I think if maybe he sees that a bit earlier, that's a catch that he can definitely make.
Big shot going from Solebang here, but that's just not going to work today. They've not found their groove with this deep game.
That's far too zippy.
Frankly, that's the only game that Salaspils have given them, isn't it? They've taken away all of their unders, made them throw deep, and then they've taken those away as well. Ford on the sideline. Gets it across to Pogurskis. Ford available on the reset, but it's going to go back across to the middle. Elknitis, Maldaris. Ford in the end zone. He's the target. There's going to be some pressure here. Can Ford ride it? Just gets the position. Takes the challenge of Erik Houtanen and collects the disc for Salaspils as they get into double figures now, 10-3. A big lead for the team from Latvia.
Yeah, that time it's all in the box out from Justin Ford, because as you see, he doesn't really need to elevate for the catch at all. He's just keeping Houtanen on his back shoulder and out of position, which is no mean feat, because Houtanen, I'm going to call him a bit of a journeyman, but that feels a bit harsh.
Yeah, I think that his CV is journeyman-esque. I mean, his home city is actually California. He's currently living in Italy and playing with the Swiss. So that's journeyman-esque already, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's represented teams back in the States. He's represented the Swiss at junior level. He was on the Putis team that took 4th at World out in Cincinnati earlier this year.
I thought I recognised the name. Yes, of course.
And captained the UCSD, so that's University of California San Diego Air Squids, which is one of my favourite, I think, college team names in the States. It's just a little bit weird. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Disc into the sand. Gets the dust off and then makes that quick pass to Vitaliano, who's been so key to this Solebang team. He's got Maldaris for company now, though, and that's prevented the pass. Big bid required as that disc was just a little bit out of reach, and a house here drops the disc to the floor. Those mistakes from Solebang just been a little bit too frequent in this game. Ort charges forward. House here not able to keep up, slips on the sand and finishes with a face full of dirt, and it moves quickly down the line, and it's Kasparans who finishes with the disc in hand for Salaspils.
You see the value of those quick throw and go moves, because as a force, it's really difficult on the sand to really kind of stay active on the balls of your feet a little bit, as you kind of generally want to do. So you find often you're in that kind of moral quandary of, do I get in really tight and try and put pressure on the throw, but it means if they go for the throw and go, maybe I'm not quite in position to catch up. Do you sit off a little bit more and say, okay, maybe I'm going to allow more throws, but I'm in a better position to stop the quick disc movement? And that time, they do exactly the right thing. They take advantage of the poach to just dink and dunk it down that far sideline and flowing it in to Martin Kasparans for the goal. Salaspils, I think, were many people's favourites to, if not necessarily just medal, but also take home a gold this weekend. And based on the performance we've seen from them in this first game, they look in ominous form, I think.
Yeah, ominous is the word, is the right word. We should talk about who else might be threatening for that. We'll see if we can gather some thoughts, as after Solebang have had another crack at getting a point here. Fisher moving the disc, and it's centered again to Hoitinen. High grab from Fisher. Gets it right across. Floats. And into the front corner. That was so much better from Solebang. Salaspils perhaps a little bit lackadaisical on defense, but Solebang just never let the disc stop. They never parked up for a moment, and they deserved that point in the front corner. The whole team involved. Nice stuff, Benji.
Yeah, keeping the disc in kind of low stall counts, utilising those lead passes towards the break side. Lead passes, I think, on beach are so valuable. Again, it's getting a little bit of sit and float on them, because it's rather than trying to laser it, it gets players the chance to kind of run onto it. But especially if you're getting that to a handler running through, as they're catching it, they're already seeing the play develop in front of them. So it's not like, okay, you're getting an underneath pass, you catch, maybe you get a dish off, or if not, you turn, you have to look at what's going on, diagnose, then find your option. As you're catching it, you're already seeing what's going on, so it means it's a lot easier to get the disc out of your hands quickly.
Yes.
And play from there.
Well, the disc barely stopping in possession there. It was constantly moving. Makes it very difficult for the defending side, however good they are, to keep up. That is a beautiful pull. Landing, well, did it land on the line? Looked like it landed on the outline, but it's been played from the edge of the field, and now there's space in the end zone, chasing it down, no problem at all. The 33 shirt of Ned the Narwhal Garvey, bringing that in. A little bit of a head spike as Salaspils go within one of taking this game here, the opening game of the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships in the open division. Salaspils from Latvia and Solebang from Switzerland is our opening game in this division. And we've got more action coming up for you from the tournament.
It's a big old day for us. 10 games today.
Yeah, well, we like to work hard, Benji.
Hey, and because the games are so short and so quick, it does keep you feeling energized, and like it's never quite too much. We're flipping back into the mixed division next up. We have Guayota from Tenerife in Spain up against Ireland's Peer Pressure, and that'll be myself and Hannah Pendlebury.
Yes, that's good. Mixed means I get a break, which is lovely.
You were talking about potential other title contenders in this division. I think the finalists last time out, Fendisk from Spain, certainly wants to watch. Maybe Mighty Hucks from the UK as well. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. You don't really get a good picture until a couple of rounds in, I think, of exactly who's on song.
That is 100% true. But we were sent the schedule ahead of time and said, do you want to pick some of the good games? And I said, well, I'll pick some good games on day 2, but it's very hard to pick good games from this list of teams because you never know who's going to be in them, and it's a long time since this tournament was last played, so
it's been a lot of change. Yeah,
lots of change. Salaspils pick up another opportunity to get a break and take the game here. Abeltinch, just beyond the receiver there. Jurgensen's. You can understand how I mixed him up with Didzis Maldaris as well.
Yeah,
they've got a very similar
I must admit, I think Jurgensen is more mullety.
Yes, they've got the same barber, is what we're saying.
I don't know when mullets came back into fashion, but it definitely passed me by.
Disc downfield. The target is there. Can he read it? He can, but he's not quite in the end zone. And gets it across, and Solebang just pausing the destiny for one more point, getting the goal after Salaspils threw away in the end zone, giving the disc back.
Again, for Salaspils, it's mostly them turning themselves over rather than, tight defensive pressure blocks from Solebang, but that time they were able to take advantage of the second opportunity they were given, get this nice open under downfield. It's blading towards the far side, so it's out of the reach of the defender, and De Hinden utilises his height well there. And then rather than disc watching, I think it's House here again, who is first on hand to follow up for the score.
Yeah, so we were all assuming that might be a 13-4 scoreline. I think our scoreboard team did the same, but it's not. It's 12-5. Solebang just hanging on in there. Disc is flying high. Another good pull from Solebang, forcing Salaspils right into the back of the end zone, but a gap between the two defenders creates a space Oloskis. Oh, cool. That was nearly the action of the tournament. The disc from Oloskis touched off the finger of Ford.
First turnover all game for Salaspils O-line, that.
Deep shot, downfield. Yeah, that's a great observation, Benji. They've been absolutely rock solid on offense. Could not quite connect, even with two big layout bids from Ford and their 44 shirt of Kasparans. Tap in on the line. Oh, what a disc that is. Electrifying pace, low release through the defenders. And an easy pass from Ford downfield to Oloskis. But everything happened there from that one pass. Solebang thought they'd positioned their players in a way that pass wasn't possible, and Salaspils thought otherwise.
Brilliant low release, and he rips it into space there for Justin Ford. It looks downfield, and I've got Oloskis one-on-one with separation. And I'm not sure any thrower in the world would turn that down, to be honest.
Yeah, Oloskis is one of the most exciting players in the world right now. He got highlight reel after highlight reel in Cincinnati at the World Ultimate Club Championships, where he was playing with moon catchers alongside Maldoris and Abeltinch. Ford we know very well. And this Salaspils side with Ben Ort picking up as well. It's big handler from Grut.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, if you are looking forward to the rest of the week, do keep tuning in. We've got action 10 games a day, every day, courtesy of ulti.TV. And if you do like the live action, don't forget ulti.TV, you can support the work that they do, bringing Ultimate from around Europe and around the world by joining the Patreon. All that money goes to just basically putting more games out there, covering the costs of the volunteers and the staff that come out to all of these tournaments around the world. More gear, more cameras, more ability to bring you live Ultimate. So if you want to support the work of ulti.TV, do get down to Patreon.
Patreon.com/ulti.tv, and other ways of supporting us. You can support us directly through YouTube now. Of course, all the usuals: liking, subscribing, sharing the videos. You can use stickers and super chats and donate that way. And if you go onto the Force Sportswear website, you can buy some swanky ulti.TV t-shirts as well.
Which you are sporting.
Yeah, I'm rocking the Sun hoodie at the moment. Yeah, they've got t-shirts and hats available as well. Good look, I think.
Yeah, it is very much. Well, so there we go. The first game in the Open Division out of the way here on the show field. Salaspils making light work of Solebang, and we continue over the course of the weekend. But thanks very much for joining myself, Tom Stiles, and Benji Rees from the beach, from Portimão. For now, it's see you again soon.
Merci beaucoup.
ulti.TV